So then, in any case, he was grown up and he was walking around because he was, noble, watching the work. And he saw an Egyptian strike a Hebrew. See now, they're Hebrews to the Egyptians. And therefore, when no one was looking, he killed the Egyptian and buried him. And later he saw two of the Hebrews fighting. This is a different text line in terms than the Israelite text line here. And he said, "Stop doing this." And then they laugh at him. "Who made you king over us? Prince over us? Are you going to kill me like you did the Egyptian?" This is a great storytelling. I smell the Yahwist here running around. This is still great stuff. And Moses knows that. You see, he doesn't paint everything like I'm doing. Tell you, hey, a few strokes, bam, 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 we get the picture. This guy could do well in Hollywood. He could write great scripts. And he knew that the situation was known, and that if Pharaoh heard about it, he'd be in trouble. Although, I don't think he would be if he's a nobleman. I really, the whole thing, again, if a nobleman inflicted justice on people who were misbehaving, I don't think he'd be in any trouble at all. Just me, a wandering person. I'm not the script writer here. So. Be that as it may, that's what the story says. So he runs away to Midian. Where's Midian? Who is Midian? Midian is one of the descendants of Ishmael, according to some of the genealogies. I think in others, he's a descendant of Esau. I get it all mixed up, but if you can look, he was in the Joseph story as the Midianites and the Ishmaelites. It's all, anyway, basically it's Sinai tribes. Sinai between Palestine and Egypt, or Israel, Judea, and Egypt. And he meets there a priest. Joseph, by the way, married into a priest. I didn't emphasize that very much. One of you pointed out that Joseph's wife was a priest of the daughter of On, or the daughter of a priest of On. And you see, so they're Israelite tribes whose mother isn't even Hebrew Jewish background, according to them, and they recognize them. So people who want everybody, like in Judaism, people talk about conversion and things. The Jews back in these days weren't so big on conversion, all that sort of thing. If you were with us or with them, as they would have put it, then you were part of it, part of us, as they would have put it. If you felt part of it, you were part of it. Moses marries out, if you want to call it that. Joseph marries out. Two principal heroes. David marries, basically. David's mother is a non-Jewish woman, and so all through the traditions there. So when any of you are ever talking to rabbis or people like that, and some of them are making a fuss about the requirements and all this sort of thing, just point the Bible stories to these people. I mean, there's no big deal in the Bible about interrelationships with different peoples in terms of who's part of the people. The biggest heroes. Moses marries a non-Jewish woman. Joseph marries a non-Jewish woman. David's mother is a non-Jewish woman. And so on and so forth and so on and so forth. So they're really not, they're not too concerned about it. As long as if you're part of the tradition, then you are, is what the Bible is presenting things to be. Anyway, Moses, this is the usual meeting at the well, isn't it? Remember, we had Jacob meeting at the well, and others meeting at the well. So, the meeting at the well story, and as usual, seeing the first woman that's there, and this time, what's her name? The Bible knows her name, where it doesn't even know his mother and his sister's name. Her name is Zipporah. Line 22. And her father is Ruel. Reuel, a priest of Midian, 7 daughters. I remember Philip in the New Testament, he had 7 daughters who were prophetesses. Well, I'm not going to really believe that one either. But in any case, that's similar. Maybe this is the source of the Philip material. I don't know where those writers got that material from. But in any case, this may be so. Maybe he did have 7 daughters. At least it doesn't say they were all prophetesses. In any case, he likes Zipporah as usual, the one he meets. We never hear about the rest. One of the problems with Reuel, he pops up in various places in different parts of the next 3 or 4 books. Leviticus, Numbers, which we're not going to do, and Deuteronomy, we don't have time to do those. But he gets name changes. Sometimes he's Reuel. In this text, he'll have another name almost immediately. What's the other name he's given? Jethro. And then later on, he's Hobab. So there's 3 different text lines that give him 3 different names. I don't think that he's 3 different people, but that's the problem with text lines and naming. It isn't very clear. So at the moment, he's Reuel, but later he's going to be Jethro, and then ultimately, in I think Numbers, he's Hobab, H-O-B-A-B. And I don't know what his real name was. Well, Moses' first name, born son, is what? Gershom. And that's because the word ger means foreigner. So again, because I was a stranger in a strange land or something like that. Again, interpreting names in terms of your situation. But there's going to be a problem. Moses and Aaron are going to start to overlap in these stories somewhat. Someone is slowly going to, that's what we're going to see in this exercise. That's basically what main point I want to make clear to you. Someone is insinuating Aaron into the Moses stories to some extent, because he's not even mentioned here. And the priests take their descent from Aaron. Aaron is the father of the priesthood because of certain things that are said here. But as we'll see, Aaron is portrayed somewhat negatively by some of the materials here. In Hebrew, the word Kohen, Kohanim, is the name for priest. So if you see today, for instance, someone called Cohn, Kahana, Khan, the movie actor, what's his name? James Caan, all these people are priests. Any variation on that name, and then other variations that come spin off it,